gotta watch him moving the models around. I apologize.
Well, thanks. Well, we're going to take questions from the audience, as we like to do. So,
why do we have to do that?
Because we have nothing else to talk about.
Well, I can think of things to talk about.
Like what?
We can talk about what you've been doing lately.
What I'm doing it.
I haven't seen you.
I had to go and press my shirt in the hotel room because I knew I was going to do my panel with you. I don't wear a collar very often. I'm a t-shirt guy.
So that's all you got to say.
That's it.
We'll go now.
I've been writing as much as you like.
All right.
Right, you know. I've wrote some daredevils. Yeah. How about you? What have you been up to?
I go to conventions and I run out of things to talk about.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I get the same question all the time. The first person who says, "Who's your favorite superhero?" We want questions that deal with current events, things that require knowledge and culture and stuff like, why is Marvel better than DC?
Well, except for Harley Quinn, of course. No, we'd love to take some questions from you guys, and I guess how we doing this? Let's go. You in the front. I'm gonna repeat the question.
Before you do, I've got to tell you, even though I look like a model of physical perfection to you, I don't hear as well as I used to. So the chances are I won't be able to hear the question clearly. So Jim will repeat it to me. So I don't want you to think he's doing it because he has nothing else to do, but I've asked him to help me out. Okay, here we go.
Go ahead.
All right, Stan, I know.
Oh, you go up to the microphone. That makes sense. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. I'd like to make everybody work with questions.
Right.
Just a couple, guys. Come, we got plenty up here. I don't think we're gonna get to all of them. There's Waldo.
Stan, I know you've been married for over 60 years to your wife. Congratulations. My question is, have you ever designed for or with her in mind a particular character?
I want to know if you've ever designed a particular character, all the characters you created.
No, the only thing I've done is ask the artist to change designs. For example, I always hated the way Iron Man looked when he was first drawn. And we changed him about a dozen times in subsequent issues. And I was never satisfied with the way he looked, no matter who drew it. Finally, they made the movie, and that's the way Iron Man's No, well, yes, but actually, the one who was originally gray was the Hulk. I don't know if you're aware of that. What happened, well, this is a long story. Get comfortable. I wanted to do a character who was a monster, but a good monster. I always liked the movie Frankenstein with Boris Karloff. I always felt the monster was really a good guy. He didn't want to hurt anybody, but those idiots with torches kept chasing him up and down the hills. So I said, I'm going to get a monster who's a good guy. Now, the one thing I know is fans love their heroes to wear costumes, either costumes or have something about them that's very colorful. And I couldn't think of a reason why a monster would buy a costume. So I figured instead of that, I'm going to give him a different skin color. That'll be the nearest thing to a costume. And I thought gray would be a great color because it's kind of scary looking. And nobody was using it at the moment. So I colored him gray in the first issue. And the printer wasn't able to do the color. On one page, it looked like dark gray. One page, he looked black. One page, it looked like he was light gray. He didn't look consistent. So when you're an editor of comics, like I was, you're a little bit like God. You can change somebody's skin color. So for the second issue, I said, let's make him green. printer was able to get the same shade of green on every page, and that's why the Hulk is green. If we had a better printer, it would have been gray. So you know something that nobody in the outside world knows, and keep it to yourself.
Attention. I decided that I want to trash your panel.
I hope it says Lou, because he'll forget his name.
Anyway, I wanted to say when I was a little child, I was a kid, I used to read these whole comic books. I was very introverted. I had a small little weight in the basement. I used to fantasize. I was like a real life war committee. And I used to read the comic book and say, Stan Lee. Little did I realize 40 years later, here we are at MegaCon, and all of you here celebrating the legacy of the Hulk.
I have no idea what the man does or who he is. He speaks very well.
I was telling what a nice guy you are, that when I was a little kid, I used to read the magazine, the whole comic book. And you do the comic. That's the reason why I look like this today, because I want to be like the Hulk, and thanks to you.
You know how long it took him to wash the green off? He's still got a little bit behind the ears.
Don't you love this guy? And the one thing for him, I was the first one to have the whole series begin. He came on the series on a couple of the episodes. But think about this. Today, we have superhero, the Avengers dominating the box office because everyone wants to be a superhero. That's what we have today. And next week, we have the Avengers.
I got an idea. What if we were the new Guardians of the Galaxy? What if the three of us were the next Guardians of the Galaxy?
You mean we're not?
We would need somebody like Yondu or, like, to help us out. And
Well, think of the
on our
character.
missions.
I'll definitely play the character.
Yeah.
Like
That would be awesome.
I think he's leading up to something.
Just think of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Just like my Rooker.
That's two guys overshadowed.
I feel like I'm in an MMA competition here.
We got the strongest guy in the world, and we got the scariest guy in the world. I'm glad you're here.
Handsome.
I am an old
I
man.
thought you were going to say handsomest guy.
Oh, that's okay. I'm a handsome old man.
Handsome? No.
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about me. Why would I talk about you?
Because I'm so
I
handsome.
don't even know who you are. I don't know who this guy is. You're all right. All right,
You
sit
guys are
down.
awesome. Oh, I have to sit down? Oh,
You want to stand? No, you can overshadow us. Sit down, but sit down somewhere over there.
it says Mike.
You better not take Lou's chair, he'll tear you apart. Remember when I told you how to build yourself up, Lou?
I did 100 push-ups before I
I
came.
gave him all his exercises, I told him what to do. All right, here we go.
All right, what do we do now?
Okay, I have a question.
Question.
Two amazing actors are up there with you. I wanted to know how much input you have in selecting the actors that play these awesome.
You asking us to stand?
Stan does all the casting. From Marvel and Disney.
Big on the money too.
No, I only cast myself for the cameos. I watch you to stop referring to them as cameos. I now think of them as supporting roles.
Well, then, what would be your ideal supporting role that you haven't played yet?
It would be if Ferrigno and whatever his name is, if they were in the movie and I was the guy who beat him up. But the trouble is it would be too lifelike.
He's a violent individual.
Every convention I go to, this guy crops up. He gets the limelight, he gets all the fans. I stand around hoping someone will talk to me. Thank goodness Lou is here, because nobody knows who he is.
I do a little whistle. I walk by Stan's table and I whistle. It's sort of like a Pied Piper thing, and the fans follow me.
Do the whistle! That's okay. It's never worth hearing anyway. See, they're talking about me.
Listen, let's get a big round of applause for our special guests here. They have to get back to work.
Or we'll be talking to each other.
That was a lot of fun, guys. I really feel very honored and it's special to be out here in the presence of.
You forgot my name.
Who is this guy again?
I want to ask you something about zombies.
Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead.
I have a very important zombie question. You can help me with this. If you were dead and then you came back to life, why would you want to hurt people? You'd be so happy. Ooh, I'm alive again. You'd want to go to the movies. You'd want to have a steak dinner. Why would you want to be a bad person? I want that whole idea to be changed, and I want it more realistic. I want you to be a good person. Not easy.
I thought Earl Dixon was a good person on the Walking Dead.
They killed them off on The Walking Dead. How many of you feel you're disappointed they killed them off?
Oh yeah, but you know what? If that hadn't happened, I would not have been in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Thank you.
Love you, brother. Okay, bye everybody.
Two great guys. All right, let's get serious.
All right. We have a young lady waiting patiently. Go ahead.
All right. My question is, Stan, what is your most favorite thing about seeing your comic books come to life and playing these supporting roles that you put in?
The supporting role, I like that. I can tell you there are few things as thrilling as seeing something that you had a hand in creating coming to life on the screen and being even better than you thought it could be. I mean, some of these movies. Oh, wait till you see the Avengers, the new one. They're having the red carpet opening tomorrow on Monday in Los Angeles. I'll be there knocking on the door trying to get them to let me in. It's going to be great. And wait till you see my supporting role. He's saying I'm not allowed to tell too much about it. I know that. I can't tell them. It's the first supporting role I've had that has 2 scenes. 6 seconds long. You'll see, you'll see.
All right, what's your question?
What was your favorite supporting role that you played in?
Gee whiz. They're all so good. And I don't know why I haven't gotten an Oscar yet. I think they're probably working on it. My favorite one, really, honestly, my favorite one is the one that's opening up tomorrow. You've got to see The Avengers, because it's the funniest one I've done. You're going to see it, and you're going to say, wow, Stan wasn't kidding. This is great. I'm going to come and buy another ticket and see it again. That's how we make it. People love the cameo so much that they buy more and more tickets.
It's true.
All right, so staying on the topic of supporting roles, seeing as how they become such a staple part of the Marvel films, I wanted to know how they got their start and why you think they've become such a big deal with fans.
You know, it's amazing. It takes the person a couple of minutes to ask the question, and this is why you're a good writer and editor. You condense it down to a few choice words. You're very good at that. Now I forgot the question.
So did I.
All right, so seeing as how your supporting roles are a staple part of the Marvel films, I wanted to know how they got their start and why you think they're so big with fans.
How did it start?
Yeah,
It's because of the guy who did the first X-Men movie. Brian Singer. I was testing you. Brian Singer. I met him just the other day. Oh, he's doing the new X-Men, and he offered me a cameo into that. I wasn't in the last X-Men because they were shooting it in Europe, and I just couldn't get away. I couldn't afford the fare, actually. The question was, oh, how did it all start? Is that what it was?
sure.
Well, Brian Singer was doing the first X-Men movie, and he said, Stan, how would you like to be in one of the scenes? Now, you'll find this hard to believe, because you know how bashful I am. But I said to him, I'd love it. So he had me play a guy who was selling hot dogs on the beach when one of the characters walked by. And it didn't require much talent. All I did was hold the goddamn hot dog. But I must have done it so well. And when, I forgot his name, who directed the Spider-Man? Sam Raimi, a friend of mine, and I've got his name. When Sam Raimi did Spider-Man, he said, hey, how would you like to be in one of our scenes, too? I figured now I'm getting a real chance to act. So I said, yeah, what'll I do? He said, well, you're going to be in the crowd downstairs looking up worried as things are happening up there. That hits me for about 2 seconds. But again, I must have done it so well. Then all of a sudden they were asking me to do cameo about the supporting roles. One funny one, I thought, if you saw the Fantastic Four, where I couldn't get to the wedding because they didn't believe who I was. I thought that was kind of good. Although anybody would believe who I am, nobody knows like me.
Well, I think the fun part for us, if I'm right, is that we wait for that scene. We wait for Stan to appear so we know it's a Marvel movie. We know it's Stan.
It's really more than that. I'm going to tell you a secret why the movies make so much money. Because of the cameos, and here's why. And I told you I wasn't in the last X-Men movie. I could have flown to Europe, But they said, no, we don't want you in it. We'll make more money, and here's how. Somebody goes to see the X-Men, they sit through the whole movie. Now, we didn't see Stan. We must have blinked, or maybe anybody would do. They go back to the box and buy another ticket for a chance to see me. So, because of me, all these movies make twice the money that they would go on.
My question is that I want to know how you came to create Daredevil, and why didn't you have a cameo in Daredevil?
Well, the show hasn't finished yet. I mean, I got a cameo in Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Another new one, what is it? Carter. And I'll get one in Daredevil. They haven't found anything yet. They're looking for the kind of role, it must be obvious to you, they're looking for the kind of role that Laurence Olivier would have played if he were here. And it's not easy, but you'll see me in Daredevil. Yeah, he's one of my favorite characters.
All right, thank you.
Hi. First, it's an honor, sir. Thank you for being here. My question has to do with your work in general. You have influenced people of all ages from all over the world, myself included. I came from another country just to see you. Did you expect your work to be this big? And how does it make you feel that this is gonna go on probably for many more years to come?
How are you going to summarize that?
How do you feel that to inspire and motivate people all over the world with your characters, and how do you also feel how that everything wrong is kind of go on?
I'm going to show you why I'm such a good guest at the panels and why people love listening to me. It feels good. I don't think about it that much, especially the part when I'm gone. I think about that very rarely. But sometimes I can't believe it. I come to these conventions and people are dressed up like our characters. I mean, occasionally you'll see a Superman, but you know. The guy is usually standing off in a corner. Oh, you ever notice Superman lived, what city does Superman live? In Metropolis, and Batman lives in Gotham City. And where do our characters live? New York. In a real city, in the real world. That's all.
Yes. Hello, sir. It is an honor to be here and hear your talk. My question is, what is your best advice to artists who want to break into the comic industry?
Draw good. That question is asked often, and so is what's your best advice to writers? And honestly, I don't know how to answer either of them. What you've got to do if you're an artist or a writer, if you're an artist, you've got to send samples of your artwork to the editor of whatever book you're interested in at Marvel or at any company, and hope that they'll like your samples and you got to remember, your artwork has to be at least as good as what's being published now, or they've no reason to hire you because they've already got artists who can draw the way they're drawing. You've almost got to be, in fact, you've got to be a little bit better than the people we have in order for an editor to say, wow, look at this, this is great, let's call the guy. With writing, it's even, see, it's easy to tell how good an artist is. You look at the drawings, right? With writing, you have to do a lot of reading, and that's a little difficult. So if you're a writer who wants to get into comics, it helps if you write something else, like if you have a novel published, or if you have stories published in some regular magazines, where you can send those to the editor, and he can see, oh, this guy's a professional, he's been published, and he reads it, and oh, this is pretty well done. But if you're just a guy who writes a letter and says, I'd like to write Spider-Man, or this or that, they don't know what to make of it. It is very difficult to get into the business now, unless, as a writer, unless you're already really a professional. As an artist, again, all you've got to do is have artwork that'll knock the editor's eye out. Not easy, but I'm giving you what I think is a truthful answer. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, and now we have the internet, you can post your artwork on it, you can link people to it. You can even link
forgot about that, you're right.
And you can link an editor and say, look, here's my work. Honestly, if you blow them away, they'll probably call you, because we're always looking for unbelievable artists. There's a lot of middle-of-the-road guys, and you just have to say to yourself, I have to be better than everybody else. You have to be better than what you're looking at, and that's always the goal to go for. Okay? So, push your luck.
See why I like this guy? He was playing better than I do.
I want to take a second. I see the camera to focus on this. I have the world's smallest Stanley in my hand right now. I don't know if can you get any closer or no? Can you guys see it? It's a small stand. If you look at it, it's brilliant. It's so dead on. I can't even tell you. It's unfortunate I can't just walk around with it. But it's made by a company called Procreate. It's a 3D figure. They actually scanned Stan and made this figure. And we have, I think, 3 of them. We're going to give away.
Yeah, we have a few. What we're going to do is give them away.
Giving them away.
Is
probably sell them for $1 or $2.
There's 5 of them, and we're going to do a little trivia. But the first question, it's got to be the true Marvel fan. Everybody's a true Marvel fan, but the first one's going to go to only the people that is wearing a Spider-Man related item. Stand up. Okay, I got to do the Spidey, guys. Okay, now, okay, here's the question, guys. What issue? Oh, I can't say that one. That one's too far. Hey, who was? I can't remember the editor's name that told Stan not to do Spider-Man, because originally Spider-Man, his editor told him, Spider-Man can't be a kid, he's got to be an adult. You guys know, anybody? Nope. Sit down. Guy, that person right there. Yeah.
Steve Ditko?
Nope. Guy right there. Yeah. Who? Nope. 2. Okay, who else? Anybody? If you don't know the answer, we'll just move to the next one. I got to get right there. Okay, what?
He knows the answer.
He knows the answer. He doesn't have a Spider-Man item. No. Well, we'll get to you in a minute if you don't know. These guys, they have the first dibs. How about you? No? Okay, what is it? What? That wasn't Ditko.
No, it's that Martin
Goodman. That's right. It's Goodman. Here you go. Okay, the next one is, this one's an easy one. Okay? Don't yell it out. But what was the issue that the original Green Goblin died in? Right there. There you go. Oh, okay, here's it. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, here's one for you. You guys all saw the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, right? Yes. There's a close-up shot of him sketching out his Spidey suit for the first time in his notebook. What Marvel artist, whose hand was used to draw that? Right there. Wrong. Back there. Nope. Wrong. Right there. Nope. Yep, you win. Bill Manis.
All right. Here's a simple one, guys. Everybody should know. Everybody's in here. A big fan of Stan's. First person raises their hand on how many years has he been married? Let's go with the young lady right here. No, how many years? I got to do the math quick. You got 5 seconds. 1, 2,
Even I have trouble with
4. Going. There you go, right answer. There you go. All right. How many we got left? How many we got left? We have Jimmy still got that one? No, let's go. Okay, that's it.
That's it. I gotta tell you all something. That guy who was asking you these questions is Max Anderson. He's an associate of mine, and he knows more about comics than anybody you'll ever know. Anything you want to know, just look up Max Anderson and ask him, and he's going to kill me for saying this because he'll be busy the rest of his life. I have been told to shout something out. And I'm going to do that because I follow orders. So I say, happy birthday to Aisha.
Okay, I do that. You did fantastic.
Follow orders, magnificent.
It's good. As we take another question,
We have time for one more.
Okay. Give it away.
I wanted to know, and I purposely derived myself to figure this out, I just want to figure out from you. Where did the whole thing for Excelsior come from? I'm kind of curious about that.
Well, we have to get back to DC Comics. I used to write a soapbox column, and I used little expressions in the soapbox column, like "nuff said" and things like that. And little by little, I saw my expressions popping up in the DC books. And I said, I've got to think of something that they won't be able to copy because they won't know what the hell it means. I'm from New York, and the Great Seal of the state of New York has the word Excelsior on it. Kind of a dramatic word. It means upward and onward to greater glory. And I figured they'd never know what that meant. They'd never know how to spell it. So I started ending what I wrote with Excelsior. And now, of course, I've made the word so famous that whoever created it ought to send me a royalty. But that's the origin of Excelsior. It's my own little word, and don't you go using it. Or I'll tell DC of you.
That's great, Nick. I got to mention that Stan's going to be at the ACDC, it's the Atlantic City Boardwalk Convention coming up. If any of you guys are in New Jersey or in the New Jersey area, you should see Stan there. You can probably gamble all his money away, but it'll be a fun time. And also want to mention that Stan is on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I'm big on Twitter.
He's big on Twitter. And he's at it's at the real Stan Lee, and it is the real Stan Lee.
But I gotta tell you a secret about that. I don't really have time to do that stuff, so there are other people who write these Twitters for me. And I have no idea what they're writing. I'm trying to check them out, and if you read anything that isn't right or that doesn't sound like me, you let me know and I'll give them hell.
When you told me you loved me on Twitter, that wasn't you?
I never told you what. I couldn't remember who you were.
It's funny, real quick, I just want to input on that. It's true what he says sometimes on what he doesn't write everything on there. He makes little funny things, but his wife, which is the queen bee that runs the whole show, makes him get on.
I don't like
can you disappoint your
my
fans?
wife more than about me. What do you say?
He doesn't like me talking about his wife more than him. Although I have to talk to him about his wife. Do you know why, guys? Honestly, I want to tell you why. It's because I get good points. He gets good points when he goes to my point. So anyway, yeah, he does do it, but his wife's the one that gets up. He stays up late at night.
I resent one thing. Whenever I call my wife, instead of saying, "How are you?" she says, "How's Max?"
Yeah, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound It's always right, trust me. Mind you, I've known him for over 12 years already, and I get along with his daughter. When I go to shows or events with him, this is Max Anderson, blah, 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 or his wife will say, "Oh, this is Max." Or when I'm with his daughter, and not get introduced. He goes, hey, so-and-so, so-and-so. Oh, who's that? Oh, that's my evil little brother, Max. So, it's funny. But anyway, guys, Stan's got to go. But remember one thing, tomorrow is the premiere of Avengers 2. We'll be on there. He'll be on there. So we'll, you guys want to watch the premiere, he'll be on there. So.
Round of applause for Stan, everybody.